Oh, what the fuck is good? How y'all doing? How y'all feeling? How are you all living? Welcome back to the stream. Welcome back to the stream. Welcome back to the stream. It's a Monday, man. If y'all can't tell, I had a couple 7 a.m. nights over the last couple days. So my eyes are a little puffy. Forgive me for that. But there's a few things in life that is more important than your health, your mental health, your physical health, and that is monitoring the fucking situation. And we are back. It is 8:40 a.m. on the East Coast. The stock market opens in 50 minutes. That's 50 minutes. And we have so much to cover, so much to get into, so much to talk about. So first and foremost, if you're watching on YouTube or Twitter and you would like to chat, twitch.tv/threadguy. And that is twitch.tv/threadguy. threadguy. YouTube gang, what's up with you? Twitter gang, I don't even know that you exist. Okay, I don't even know you exist over on YouTube gang. At least I see it on Twitter gang. At least I see the YouTube squad's messages. I don't even see them on Twitter straight up. I don't even see them. I don't even know they're there. So if you want it to be seen, if you want to be known that you are here, twitch.tv/threadguy. All right, welcome back. How was your weekend? I had a good one. I had a decent one. Okay, I had a decent one. I told you this story. I'm gonna tell you a quick story. So me and my friend on the first day of the World Cup, he was gonna bet on like Paraguay or something, and I said, I want to bet. How much are you betting? And he said, 500. I said, okay, let me Apple Pay you. So I sent him $500,000 in the board on Polymarket, of course, and we just roll it. Hit up 15. It's worth 1,500. It's worth 2K. It's worth 3K. Double up. It's worth 6K. 7.5. 9.5. 10. It's worth 12. We bet on England against Argentina. It's worth 10. And so we bet Spain the whole way. We're trying to figure out what do we do? What do we do for we got to shove it, obviously, right? We're shoving the whole thing. We have 10K in the port, up 10x on Polymarket sports bets, which is rare for me to make money. And I want Spain. He wants Argentina. I'm conflicted. I said, okay, let me do a thing. So watch this. On Saturday, I didn't do a damn thing because I was up all night on Friday, except I played like 75 FIFA games. I'm on the road to D1 online seasons. I'm in D3. And I on Saturday, I literally was like 35-1. Like I won 35 games in a row. And so Sunday morning, I said, okay, this is how we're going to decide. I'm going to queue up a game. And I play on PC, but it's crossplay. But I play with the controller. I'm going to queue up a game in Spain. And let's see what happens. So usually I was playing as like, I don't know. I started out as Barca, and then the games were taking way too long, so I just like spam France. And I queue up a game, FC 26, and I get matched against Argentina. I'm like, all right, let's go. I've won 35 consecutive games. 35 consecutive games. I queue up a game, I get matched against Argentina, and I just get annihilated. Just picked apart, annihilated, every angle, through cross it, just like headers, hit a spider. I just got like straight up embarrassed in this game. And so I turn my PC off. I text my friend, shove it all, every dollar Argentina. And we saved a little bit for Lamine goal. And I mean, it was like the worst soccer game I've ever watched. I've watched like 20 games in my life. The sport's insufferable. The best game by far was France-England. What do you call it? Like third place game, consolation game. By far, the best game of the tournament was France-England consolation. And yeah, that's how I lost. So, anyways, let's do roll call. Biblet, what's good? Alex OVO, what's good? Gouda, what's good? Volan, what's good? Pickles Twitch, what's good? George, what's good? Greg, what is good? What's good? What's good? Shifty, what's good? Sparky, what's good? Tom, live the life. Mickley, what's good? Mac T Gods, what is good? Andrew Barks, what's good? Tingle, what's good? Snorbs, what's good? Whitey, what's good? Joker, what's good? Archive, what's good? Lorenzo, what's good? Kayla, what's good? Kenny, what's good? Rollin, what's good? 2, what's good? 2.3, I get it now. 23, like Michael Jordan, I get it now. Like LeBron James on the Miami Heat, I get it now. Welcome back to the stream. If you're watching on YouTube or Twitter, like to chat, twitch.tv/threadguy. And all right, there's a lot happening. Kmart's, what's up? Brian, what's good? I think Friday was one of our best streams ever, which is rare, by the way. Usually Friday is like kind of a joke. Not a joke, but like it's kind of like I'm a little bit of a mess on Fridays. And we had a crazy stream on Friday, which was primarily the market dumping, Gavin Baker coming out of the trenches from the rafters and sniping what might be the DRAM bottom. And since that moment, a lot has happened. Tuning from Spain, is it crazy right now? A lot happened from that moment, and the main thing that happened was this fellow that goes by the name of Dean Ball, who was recently hired. Alex, what's up, brother? Who's recently hired at OpenAI to run head of strategic futures is his official role at OpenAI. And he's new at OpenAI, and he makes this really long post about Kimi, new open source Chinese model that we have covered extensively, and his thoughts on it. And the post is deeply controversial. I'm going to assume a lot of you guys haven't read it. And so we're going to read it today. And it has led to chaos from David Sachs, from a lot. Yeah, from a lot of people. What post is clearly successful based on government's response today? What response? It led to some chaos and to some freakouts and to some very, very, very frustrated and angry people. Unfortunately, the All In podcast this week was filmed before this post and the real Kimi freakout happened. So we don't really have all in clips. Extend it, Dina. We don't really have all in clips to watch. And so we kind of have to go off the timeline today, which is great. So it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a big stream. Oh, I have it. The Jukon one? My bad. I forgot I have it. Sorry. I thought you meant something new happened. So we have freak out about open source models. And then we have chaos in the Middle East once again. And oh, Greg, are you still in oil? I was so close. I was so close, but I got shaken out, couldn't hold it long enough. And it looks as if this oil situation is once again going to steamroll into a serious problem. At the same time, if you remember correctly, at the back half of last week, I took a pretty big PUMP.FUN position, 25% of my perps book in PUMP.FUN at this yellow line, and it is up pretty handsomely so far. So crypto looks good, chaos in AI, oil, Middle East, and then the memory trade. What the fuck's going to happen with memory today is probably going to be the story of market open. And the pre-DRAM is at 54. I closed it on Friday for break even because I got scared. DRAM mags are green. IGV is red. The IBB is green. The SOX is green. And the SOX OL is really green. Plus 7%. Korea was down 5 in the pre, which, yeah, it was closed Friday. So maybe the Kospi was catching up. Because remember, like, Thursday's US stock session was disgusting. And then Korea closed on like that Thursday night or whatever, Friday. And then Friday stock market session is really, really gross. The Avengers come out, snipe a bottom call, and then we get some positive PA into the weekend. And it's kind of relevant is what a crypto, because I think Bitcoin looks really good. This is BTC right now. Yeah, I think Bitcoin looks really good. It's kind of ready to go for it, to go back for the 67 level. It just took a red candle after there's this oil pump going on. But I think BTC looks really good. I think crypto looks really good. I think pump looks insane. I think bonk is like ripping right now. They're ripping bonk. Is that true? Yeah, they're ripping bonk. Ugh. God. By the way, our like short on the Dow thing was unbelievable call. I got stopped out on this garbage, but it went down like another 40% somehow from when we try to short the Dow hack, which was crazy. Brennan's at 86.3, and it looks really good. So, all right, we got a lot to cover. We got a lot to get into. We have a lot to talk about. If you're watching on YouTube or Twitter, you'd like to chat, twitch.tv/threadguy. And on that note, let's start with this. Odyssey came out. Who saw the Odyssey this weekend? Did anyone here see the Odyssey this weekend? Christopher Nolan, the Odyssey, it came out. I didn't go because I want to see it in 70 millimeter. Wow, a lot of people saw it. Out of 10, if you went, how is it? Wow, everybody saw it. It was so bad. What do you mean? 10 out of 10. I'll show you 70 millimeter. No spoilers. The story's 3,000 years old. 8 out of 10, 2 out of 10. Do you have a 70mm in New York? I assume. Troy's way better. 7. I like the other Nolan better, though. What's the other Nolan? I want to go for IMAX. Please don't spoil it because I actually don't know what happens in the Odyssey. I'm not gonna lie. I think I read it when I was in high school, but I have no idea what happens. But yeah, so my thesis for the last 3 months has been IRL is so back. I've been spamming this, that IRL is so back. And my long expression was AMC. And it just felt as if we are in the middle of the hottest movie lineup that I feel like I've ever seen at the same Toy Story, The Odyssey, Dune's coming back, Marty Supreme was in theaters. There's just like movie Obsession, Backrooms. There's movie after movie after movie after movie. And it's all happening at AMC, and the stock was down so much, and I was like, yeah, this is the Jenny trade. And so I longed AMC with a lot of size on spot. It was up 50-60%, and then the CEO comes out and decides, how about we dilute the stock, raise a bunch of cash right now after it's trading good for the first time ever, and they basically destroy the price action of this thing. Let me delete this. They destroy the price action of this thing. It dumps from $3. I was feeling so rich, to a 161, down 50%. I sold at break even. I was so salty about it. And the announcement came out today that AMC Entertainment Holdings reports second quarter 2026 results, delivering the highest quarterly revenue and adjusted EBITDA in its 106-year history. It basically just had the greatest earnings in the history of the company. Obviously this was going to happen. Obviously this was going to happen. And it is, I mean, it's only up 10% from where I bought and sold, but the dilution like really hurt this thing. And so I don't know. This was my thesis was that everyone's going to the movies. They have an unbelievable lineup, and it is going to crush earnings when they eventually come. And what can you do? You make the thesis, you put on the trade, and you know, this one feels to me like the one that got away. I'm gonna be honest. This feels like the one that got away from me. It does. This is the one. It's the one that got away, man. This and Brent Oil. It's the one that got away. I think I'm gonna think about it for a long time, and I'm gonna boycott because I'm frustrated, and I'm not going to AMC theaters. Okay, I'm not. Anything I see is IMAX or I'm streaming it on Netflix. There's nothing you could do to get me into a fucking AMC theater in 2026. Nothing. Not a damn thing you could do to get me into an AMC theater. I mean, bro, the lineup is it's insane. There's the Odyssey, they have the Minions movie, they have Toy Story, there's Spider-Man, fuck it, Paw Patrol. Biggest opening week, it's insane. There was Marty Supreme, Avengers, Dune, a new Hunger Games, a new Scream, a new Star Wars, Super Mario Galaxy, Project Hail Mary. It's like the craziest lineup I've ever seen ever. So anyways, if you hold AMC, congratulations. That stock is absolutely cursed. All in 2026. Yes, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, man. This is what I've been saying, dude. This is what I've been saying. So anyways, that's that. Second is, I was going to play this first, I suppose, but we should watch it now. It's one of the funniest videos I've ever seen. Spain, first of all, I'm watching the World Cup at the bar, and they show Donald Trump on the big screen, and the entire bar, New York City, the entire bar breaks out into this like unison boo, like the loud, bro. The bar breaks out into the loudest boos you've ever. Boo! Everyone's screaming, bro. The bar was booing louder for Trump than they were cheering for the goal. It was insane. But anyways. I think he looks kind of lost. He looks like a little bit confused, I'm not going to lie. They're trying to get rid of him, and he's like a little bit confused, like what's going on here. He's trying to get rid of him. You know, it does feel a little bit like a Biden moment, I'm going to be honest. This might be like the first Trump-Biden moment I've seen. Did they Photoshop him out of this? Is that true? Did they get Photoshopped out of this? Holy shit. They Photoshopped him out of the... No way. Really? Huh. I guess at the very least, he's had an interesting week. Trump has had a very interesting week, to say the least. But if there's one thing that guy knows how to do, it's how to not miss a photo op, ever. It is how to not miss a photo op. And so, shout out to Trump on that. No, one more thing that just happened, and we're going to get to some topics, is, okay, NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang had a jacket, his iconic leather jacket, signed and up for auction at Sotheby's. And I think it was projected to sell at 40 to like 60K. And so we talked about buying this jacket at Counterparty. We were like thinking about bidding on this jacket, 40 to 60K, like, fuck it. Let's just do it. How many views would we get for 40 to 60K? Let's bid it. And let's wear it on stream. Okay, let's wear it on stream. 40 to 60K. Leather jacket, signed by NVIDIA CEO. Let's bid it. Let's wear it on stream. It'd be a movie for 50K. It'd be such a movie. And this thing went for auction. And it sold as the most expensive piece of CEO apparel ever sold, surpassing Steve Jobs' Birkenstocks, which suspectly sold for $220,000. It sold for $960K, bro. $960K. You could buy like 3 SVJs for that. $960K. You could buy you could buy a Pent in New York City for $1 million. Not a sick one, but you could buy one in New York City for $1 million. Sold for $960,000. I'm gonna be honest. Screams bubble. It does. It screams that some of these semis guys are too fucking rich. Okay? That's what it says to me. Some of these semis guys are too rich. Also, how bad are they gonna look if I turn this light off, dude? It's like killing my eyes. Do I look way worse? Damn, it does. It's destroying my eyes. Malcolm, we gotta fix this after stream. I'm like dying. It cooks my eyes so I'm like I can't see. All right. I know it's like fucking I'm like lightheaded and shit. All right, let us start with the most important, longest topic of the day. TG, bro, if I hear one more time we talked about it didn't go through, or it was my thesis but I didn't hold. This is your next development of mastery. Do you see it? I'll tell you which one we did talk about and I fucking hold. I'll tell you which one we did talk about and I do hold. I agree, though. I agree. This is my whole bit. Greatest ideas of the world, but execution is very subpar. Greatest, they asked Drew Brees, retired NFL quarterback, you think you could still play in the league? And he said, look, I can read every defense. I know every spot on the field to throw the ball. I know every receiver that's open. I know every pocket in the defense, but I can't throw the football 10 yards. Okay. And I feel this a little bit, but we're getting there. We are absolutely getting there. So let's start here. We'll get to crypto later. We'll get to PUMP.FUN later. We'll get to what we have to get to in a little bit. It's kind of a long one, but it is extremely important. And we're just going to read it. We're just going to read it. So one more time, YouTube, Twitter, you want to chat, twitch.tv/threadguy, and let also, yeah, the Jensen jacket wouldn't even fit. How tall is Jensen? He's 5'7". Damn, the jacket wouldn't even fit me, bro. I'm 6'3". The jacket wouldn't even fit 6'3". Okay, so for context, taking a step back, the Chinese open source AI lab Kimi released K3, their new frontier model, on, I believe, Thursday, maybe Friday. And maybe Wednesday. And it shook the market because there's been this belief that while Chinese open source is getting really good, it's nowhere close, 6 months minimum, probably a year plus behind the frontier models in the United States, OpenAI and Anthropic. And the US is significantly, substantially in the head, is sort of the consensus. And so Kimi K3 launches Wednesday, and it benchmarked above Fable, which is the best model on the market right now from Anthropic. And so it benchmarks above Fable, and it costs like a third of the price for tokens, maybe cheaper. Third of the price, benchmarks above Fable. And so double narrative violation, which is China is way, 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 way closer than what was being publicly discussed. And they're able to do it for way cheaper because they are running these like efficient open source models. And it led to some panic in the markets. Okay, it led to some panic in the market about the lead that the U.S. has on China and the economics behind token spend and tokens, which is important because OpenAI and Anthropic are going to IPO in the next 6 months, maybe a year, maybe 3 months, maybe. Both of them have filed, and we're kind of just like waiting to figure out when. And in a lot of ways, it feels like the stock market is dependent on how much money and how many consecutively larger rounds OpenAI and Anthropic can raise. And so it led to some panic in the market. As we know, we've covered this a lot. And I mean, memory got crushed. NASDAQ got crushed. The semi index got crushed. Everything really got crushed over the last like 3-4 days of the trading days last week. And so there was kind of panic. Gavin Baker comes out on Friday, makes a couple posts about risk reward, thinks it looks pretty good. And we go into the weekend, I think, feeling a little bit better than like the sheer panic that Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday brought us. And so we've had 2-3 days to digest, and there was a ton of controversy this weekend. Okay. And it stemmed from a post that was made from Dean W. Ball, who was recently hired at OpenAI in his role as head of strategic futures. Okay. And so he comes out and he makes this post that has 10.3 million views since July 17th, 3 days ago, Friday, maybe Saturday. There's 10.3 million views. And it's basically been the centerpiece of Twitter discussion over the last week. And so we're going to read this. We're going to cover the rebuttals, and we're going to get into the market because I think it's hyper relevant to set the stage of what's going to happen. So here's the post. 6 points. We'll go one by one. We'll go through them all. Number one, some observations on Kimi. It's a very good model. I don't think its performance can be explained away by distillation, which is basically China stealing US weights, or anything like that. In agentic coding sessions, it seems pretty much on par with the best public models of Q1 2026. In my fairly limited use, it also seemed very token hungry. It's not obvious to me that this model is actually that cheap to run. And so cheap models is a huge existential threat to OpenAI, as we know. 2, I am personally surprised the Chinese state continues to allow the open sourcing of models this good, given the potential risks. To be clear, I myself might be fine with models presenting this level of marginal risk being open weight, but I am surprised that China is fine with it. I suspect the reason they are is 75% explained by the strategic blindness, lack of AGI pilledness, parentheses, the CCP is very Jan LeCun in its views of AI. The other 25% or so is their lack of compute for customer inference and the normal Chinese strategy of aggressive exports. For the companies, as opposed to the government, the decision to open source is partially ideological and partially because they are behind. And they know that very few people would pay for sub-frontier models from China. And so he's sort of making his argument in point 2 that China is not as smart as America when it comes to their understanding of AI. And the reason that they are okay with open sourcing models is because this lack of knowledge is their take. And, we had this discussion on our all hands last night. And Xi, the president of China, did this speech the same night as Trump's Thursday night, talking about his stance on AI. And basically where they stand is China is like the energy capital of the world. And like energy flows through China, and like physical build out infrastructure flows through China. And so there's a very real scenario, and what G discussed is that they definitively want to push open source forward. And so there's a scenario in which China wins this AI race. Everything is open source. Everyone has access to the same level of open source intelligence, and all of it flows through the physical infrastructure and energy build out of China. And they win on that front. China lost the internet, open internet, to the US. They got dominated in the open internet to the US. But it looks like this race is going to be a lot more competitive. In the speech's reasoning is open source is good for governments and enterprises. Yeah. Okay, 3, which is the antithesis of what gets said here. 3. Open weight models are inherently decelerationist. And I am continually surprised to see the so-called accelerationists so excited about open weight models. I expect the reason they are is that they know open weight models are effectively ungovernable. And they simply like the overall cloak of ungovernability open weight models create over the whole of AI. It's not a bad strategy. It reminds me of James Scott's recounting of the Hill people in, quote, The Art of Not Being Governed. Still, in the end, open weight models deter further AI capex. I actually don't know what this is, James Scott. Let's Google this real quick. We'll come back to this. James Scott's recounting of the Hill and the Art of Reframes, Upland Communities, Cool. We'll come back to this. The Art of Not Being Governed by James Scott. Okay. Point 4, which is a very bizarre point. One probable outcome of an open weight model dominant world is full AI communism, which is precisely what China proposes. This to me feels like it's the opposite. Rather than a market product, AI is a, quote, public good, which will ultimately be provided by the state as a kind of digital public infrastructure. The future strikes me as a dystopian hellscape, but I've never met an open weight models advocate who doesn't ultimately concede that this is where things end. You'd be surprised at how many accelerationists lobbied me while I was in the government to support an 11 or 12 figure federally funded data center so that startups could train models at a subsidy and then give them away for free. There was no other way for AI to progress. They said, perhaps this is the logical end state of things. Nonetheless, I find myself surprised to see supposed accelerationists excited about such an outcome. I think many of them just don't know what they're doing. Many accelerationists do not view the creation and serving of frontier models as legitimate businesses. Now, here's the point, the main point that has led to like extreme controversy. And I think this is the most concerning point in the whole thing. I would guess that the Trump administration will at some point realize their best strategy here would be to create large amounts of regulatory risk around the use of open weight Chinese models. You don't need to ban open source, one of the dumber motifs of AI policy discussion. You just need to direct every agency to issue soft law that creates FUD. A Federal Reserve advisory bulletin found that there may be backdoors in Chinese AI models. It needn't be that well justified. You just need to create enough regulatory risk that every regulated enterprise backs off. You probably don't want to create so much regulatory risk that you scare off the hyperscalers from serving Chinese models. This will just drive startups to sketchier providers. There's a happy middle ground here. I'd assume they will do some version of this. And then 6 is it's probably true that open weight models of this capability make the world a bit more dangerous, but not so much that you'll really notice. At some point, the models will be capable enough that you will notice, quote, a non-living, invisible, dangerous, and infinitely self-replicating agent escaped from a Chinese lab, you say? Color me shocked. And so, point 5, he basically comes out and suggests that the Trump admin and the United States government needs to ban open source. Or, quote, you just need to direct every agency to issue soft law that creates FUD. Basically, what he's saying is heavily encouraging, wink, wink, the United States government needs to stop Chinese open source. This has to happen. This is what he's saying. The only way we can continue is that they have to take control and they have to stop Chinese open source. Don't ban it per se, but scare everybody away and basically stop people from using Chinese open source, protect OpenAI, and protect Anthropic. And it led to a legitimate crash out. Okay, I'll give you the post from the AI czar, and we can kind of go from there. Yeah, basically, he doesn't want to scare off the hyperscalers to keep the economics of this entire trade running, but he wants the government to step in, like stop consumer use of these products, basically. So David Sachs replies, formerly the crypto AI czar, and host of the All On podcast, and we know has extreme pull within the White House. He replies and says, I'm not sure whether Dean Ball is confessing to a regulatory capture strategy or simply predicting this will happen. Either way, the weaponization of regulatory uncertainty as a competitive tool should be completely unacceptable. By the way, I agree with Sachs here. He argues there's no need to ban Chinese open source models. Just direct agencies to issue soft law warnings that create enough FUD so regulated enterprises back off. Quote, it needn't be that well justified. Wrong. Regulatory decisions should always be well justified and grounded in facts, logic, and evidence, not the deliberate exploitation of fear and uncertainty. Implementing a policy through manufactured doubt rather than strong and explicit justification corrodes the rule of law and invites future abuse against everyone, which gets Pepe. We are at a critical inflection point in AI policy. The leading closed labs, already a duopoly, OpenAI and Anthropic, in terms of AI model revenue, want the government to eliminate their open source competition. They have laid their cards on the table. It is time for the rest of Silicon Valley, the vast majority that still operates, that still values open competition, to do the same. And so we are fully in the middle of the China and US AI race. And the honest takeaway here is that China is way closer to frontier US AI than it was originally discussed. And the US AI labs are fairly terrified. I think terrified is the word that we could use. And so escalated a step further from this, okay? Dean Ball replies to Sachs, and he says the Departments of War, Transportation, Energy, Agriculture, Commerce, NASA, and Congress have all blocked their employees from using Chinese AI, citing ill-justified claims of danger. This already has sent a message to regulated firms. All of this happened during this admin. Okay. And so then you get a response from Undersecretary of War, so the guy who works under Pete Hegseth, Emil Michael, who you will remember if you were watching our early Iran war streams, had a freak out against Dario, the CEO of Anthropic. And he says to Dean Ball that every industry ecosystem has a supreme village idiot. Dean W. Ball is that for AI. Congress passed a law in 2026 that restricted some uses of DeepSeek and Highflyer with waivers permitted. Only those models. It went through the democratic process, not some deep state scheme like he would prefer. Quote, Dean Ball has perhaps the biggest gap between actual IQ and his own perceived IQ of anyone in the industry, about 40 points. He follows it up by saying, So let me get this straight. Dean Ball, this was about ensuring that Department of Defense IT networks were not connected to adversary networks. You think your deep state regulatory capture scheme is equivalent to making sure our warfighter networks are not compromised? I take it back. 50 IQ difference. 75 versus 125. Take a breather and enjoy the match. And so we find ourselves at a hedge here where China is way closer than it seemed to leading U.S. frontier. The U.S. frontier models, OpenAI and Anthropic labs, are a little bit terrified. They are basically calling for the regulatory capture and halting of Chinese open source. In response, the U.S. government basically said, go fuck yourself. And so, I don't know fully the U.S. government, but Sachs and the Department of War. But to be fair, the Department of War doesn't really have a say over this. Told them to go fuck themselves. And basically, the two most important companies right now to America, OpenAI and Anthropic, or at least over the next decade of America, have what feels like crazy beef and butting of heads with the Trump admin. Like, Trump admin really does not like Anthropic, and it is unclear what they think about OpenAI, but they really, really, really do not like Anthropic, and we find ourselves in what feels like a wild time. I guess a follow-up from the whole thing is that one positive note for the AI trade is basically immediately after launching, Kimi came out and said that they have received far more love than expected and their GPUs are feeling it. Over the past 48 hours, demand has pushed close to the limits of our current capacity. To protect the experience of existing subscribers, we're temporarily pausing new subscriptions and prioritizing compute for current members. Kyria, thank you for the gifted. Existing subscription subscriber users are not affected. We're adding capacity as fast as we can and we'll reopen new subscription spots in batches. Going forward, we'll also split memberships into 2 more focused plans. Kimi membership for Kimi web app and work, and Kimi code membership for coding workflows. This will help us match compute more precisely and keep the experience stable. And so, regardless, whether token spend is getting destroyed, there is infinite demand for compute, and none of these AIs can stay up. Nobody can stay up. It's like Anthropic, Fable, 5.6, Kimi. They're all hyper throttled, and it's so competitive for the bleeding edge that they don't want to go down. They don't want to go down, which is what's wild about this. Like, I guess in response, Anthropic makes an announcement and says, Fable did an AGI thing too. I saw this. We'll come back to this. I did just see this, the math question. So I guess in response to Kimi like popping off, Anthropic comes out and says, beginning July 20th, Claude Fable 5 will be included in all Max and Team Premium plans at 50% of limits. Pro and Team Standard users will continue to have access to Fable via usage credits and will receive a one-time $100 credit. Demand for Fable has been challenging to predict, which is why we rolled it out to subscription plans in stages, extending access several times as we secured additional capacity. So basically what's happening is there is like hyper demand for the frontier AI models here. They're also super expensive, but there is so much opportunity cost for letting somebody else take on the bulk of usage that these companies are subsidizing, they're spending, they're doing whatever they can to stay up and get used. And so Fable's staying here, it's not going away. 5.6 is staying here, it's not going away. Kimi K3 is staying here, it's not going away. And these companies are doing whatever they possibly can to keep people using their frontier. It's wild. Like when Fable first launched, if I recall correctly, the discussion was that it's going to be here for a week and then we're getting rid of it. And that is no longer the case. We are also waiting for Gemini to release. I think there's a new Zipu coming soon. I think Opus 5 is coming soon. And I think we're due for a new Grok soon as well. And so it's like, man, it reminds me of the SneakerBot days. It reminds me of the SneakerBot days, the way that these things trade. It's like whoever releases the most recent model, the stock rips. It's like the SneakerBot day. And then a new one releases, stock rips. New one releases, stock rips. It's like the SneakerBot days where it's like there'd be bots that were good at Yeezy. There'd be bots that were good at Foot Locker. There'd be bots that were good on like Nike and like all Shopify sites. And the day before Yeezy release, Yeezy bots are super expensive. And then Yeezy drops. Everyone's bored of it. We go a couple releases without Yeezy. Prices get destroyed. And then a new Yeezy gets announced. Yeezy prices go crazy. We just like continue this cycle over and over and over and over and over and over again. And so I know that took a while, but this is where we are at with AI right now. I think that's my best catch up I could give you. No, there's actually one more thing here, which is Kimi IPO, Kimi Moonshot IPO. Kimi is striking while the iron is hot. If Moonshot's IPO was anywhere near the $30 billion valuation they're currently in the works on raising, it will likely shatter Anthropic and OpenAI's plans to IPO above $1 trillion. So think about it. OpenAI and Anthropic are both valued at about $1 trillion. Kimi, as of today, has the leading model in AI, and they're raising at $30 billion. Like 1/30th. Is that right? No, I think it's less than that. Is that right? 1/30th? No. Yeah, 1/30th. Oh my God. They're targeting around that's 1/30th the size of Anthropic OpenAI. Valuations are, of course, forward-looking. Current ARR is far less significant if there's now another competing lab offering effectively the same caliber model for a fraction of the price. U.S. labs will either have to lower their pricing or lose customers to Kimi and other competitive open-source models over time. Either way, ARR is bound to decline. The K3 release may not be bearish for semis or infrastructure, but it certainly feels like an emperor wears no clothes moment for Anthropic and OpenAI. This is sort of my perspective, is all of the CapEx beneficiaries, the GPU providers, the neo clouds, like all of the funnel in CapEx spend is going to get hyper throttled probably between now and forever, nonstop. But the model providers are in a brutal spot. That to me is the difference. Like this doesn't like Kimi raising around at like $20 billion does nothing negatively for Nvidia. But it definitely does something negatively for OpenAI and Anthropic, which is scary. And so that is happening. Kimi round. We'll watch this last video before. I think that was a pretty good, yeah, it's like the Launchpad Wars. They're getting vamped. I think that was a pretty good setup. I'm not going to lie. From on coverage for me. That was a pretty good setup, if I do say so myself. Let's watch this real quick.
I mean, my view is that I believe the reason that this gap has closed right now is squarely put on the US government imposing restrictions on Anthropic and resulting in us not getting the actual best models that these guys have. And so they've artificially caught up, basically.
Interesting.
Clearly, we see this with Mythos versus Fable. I can't use Mythos. I can only use Fable sometimes if I ask it nicely. 5.6 Soul, I think our house view is that it's not the biggest model OpenAI has ever trained. It's not the size of 4.5. To me, they have a bigger model somewhere. And I think the result is that we're going to be able to only access frontier intelligence if government entities allow us to. I mean, my view is that I believe the reason that this gap...
Yeah. Now the comp is models that don't publicly exist. At least we have a ferry to dangle nonstop. Oh, so yeah, the Chinese subtitles are for me. So, all right. Anyways, I know it took a while, and it's maybe not the most exhilarating topic, but it's a goddamn important one. And so that is where we are at, set up on the AI race. Stock market opens in 3 minutes, and my God, it is going to be a big one. And then we have a ton of stocks, a ton of crypto, a ton of Iran, a ton of topics to cover. So I'm going to be right back in 30 seconds. When I come back, stock market open, baby. Let's get it. Man, what's going on, dude? All right. Stock market open in 7 seconds is powered by Phantom. As always, because anything you want to trade, you can trade on Phantom. If it's stocks, if it's perps, if it's crypto, if it's stablecoins, whatever it is, Phantom has it. The stock market is officially... Oh. wake me up with September. It's my green day. All right, let's go. It's actually a big open today. All right, here we go. SPY comes in up 0.5% green. Qs come in. Also, let me make a tweet real quick. Just that the stock market's open. BRB, BRB, BRB. Market open. Live. Join up. Twitch.tv/threadguy. Bad optics. I timed that break a little bit weird. It's a Monday, man. You know how we get on Mondays. All right, let's go. Qs are up 1%. The SOX is up 2.3 of those percents. IVB's up 0.3. The SOX was up 6.78%. The IGV is red. Mags, am I still long DRAM? No, I closed at break even. I got scared on Friday. Only long pump and Shaws. Mags is up 0.4 and DRAM is up 3. Let's see, man. Let's see. Like I had this gap fill. Let me delete this yellow line. That was my entry. Let's delete this. I had this gap fill ready to go at 54.36. I think is a pretty key level on DRAM. We'll see if it is able to hold it, but right now it does not look great on the open. It's up 2.6% on the day. The Dow's up 0.4. We covered the cost beat. It was down 4.5. And yeah, look at this thing. It's pretty weak, man. 54. It's about to lose 54 to start. The market is scared. The market is scared. At the same time, we have Brent oil is like kind of going for it. The market is pretty scared right now. Also, if you're here for Market Open on YouTube gang or Twitter and you like to chat, twitch.tv/threadguy. All right, crypto check-in. Bitcoin has been pretty strong, but it's kind of barring this candle that's at 64.5 on BTC. Gold is back above 4,000. Silver's up 56, up 1.5%. Zcash 535. Solana 76.1. Hyperliquid back above 61. Lighter is pretty weak, 217. ETH is 1870 and it surprisingly looks decent. And then Pump is 1950, and this thing is ranging in what to me looks like a really good spot. There it is, DRAM 54.4. Nice little flip on DRAM. Crude 81.6, and Brent is 86 even. Palantir is green, even though the IGV is red. All right, let's go. SanDisk up 4. SK Hynix is up 5. Micron is 888. That's up 5. Intel is up 4. AMD up 4. Marvell is still below 200, but up from the 177 lows to 194. That's up 3. ASML is up 2.5. ARM is up 2.6. Broadcom is back above 380. That's 2.25. Snowflake is green. Google has reclaimed the dilution level. That is 353. It's up 2% today. It's a strong day for Google. Space, Redwire up 1.6. NVIDIA, again, like, I think Gavin Baker actually made a tweet about this where he says, yeah, he did make a tweet about this. He said, yeah, CEO of Replit, NVIDIA should be pumping on the K3 news. Instead, it is down. Gavin Baker, Amjad is the founder and CEO of Replit, the best vibe coding platform. So he's just kind of bag working here, but NVIDIA is green on the news. It's up 2%. Nokia up 1.5. Shaw's, which I do still hold. I'm down a good amount on this thing. Is up 1.5%. Rasmer, good morning. QCOM is basically flat. Amazon up 0.5%. Bloom back above 200 considerably. It was looking really gross. It's up 2.25. Rocket Lab is flat. Tesla up 0.4. Apple is red. IBM 210. This thing is disgusting. FRZ, what's good? SpaceX 124. Man, lost everything it did in the pre-market. This chart is horrifying as it relates to SpaceX. I saw somebody post a good like best case scenario for SpaceX. Let's watch. I like this video. Best case scenario for SpaceX. So August 11th, you get 20% unlocked. I don't know how you bid until August 11th. It's a cool video. Then September 24th, another 14% unlocks. Then you get what's good, Rectal. Then you get October 25th, another 14%. And then November 7th is a massive one. 28% would unlock, putting you at a total of 60% of SpaceX diluted. And so I think it's pretty grim on SPCX from here, given the dilution that's on the horizon, but we'll see what comes, when it comes, how it comes. Microsoft, that's down 0.5. Cerebras is 172. It's ugly. Meta's down 1%. RoboStrategy is down 2. Adobe down 3.5, and Netflix is down 2. All right, IRL thesis. AMC is up 13% today. Had the best earnings in the history of the company. I cannot believe that I exit the AMC trade up no money. Insane. Are these unlocked people holding shares who can sell? That's correct. Cinemark is up 5. IMAX is up 3. Both Madison Squares are up 3. StubHub is up 0.2. This coin should never have a green candle for the history of the company. And the Sphere is up another 3%. So let's check in. DRAM is pretty strong, man. 54.7. It is good to see this. I think oil is sort of chilling out as well. Yeah. Let's check like Iran poly markets. Trader Hormuz traffic by August 31st. It is up a little bit. Up like 5-6%, but that's like 33%. It's up 5-6% chance, 33% on total odds. For September, it's up from like 19 to 27%. And then December was as low as 51. It's like 55. Weak, but holding on hope, I suppose. DRAM 54.7. Mags are up. If the traffic's not back to normal, how haven't prices of everything gone up like crazy? DNAP, how good's that video? Because I'll fucking watch that thing right now. Google is planning on launching a new frozen chip to run its AI models more effectively. Interesting. Is Google up on the news? Google announcement. It is. It's up a lot. Look at this. Here it is. No, Micron will come back to. Alphabet, Google is planning on launching a new frozen chip to run its AI models more efficiently. This new server chip would directly integrate the blueprint of its Gemini AI model. The chip would then enable Alphabet to provide its AI models to users much more efficiently. The chip's developers estimate that it would be 6 to 10 times more efficient than the recent version of Google's existing line of AI chips. Another tech giant has entered the chip race. Wow. Up 3.1% on a $4.3 trillion market cap. Wow. Look at that thing is strong. That means Mags is probably very green today, up 0.6. Is it good for DRAM? Unclear. What does that do to NVIDIA? Give NVIDIA a red candle or no? Nope, it does not give NVIDIA a red candle. There's also a Micron announcement that just came out. I don't know if this is just speculation or what this is, but Wall Street Energy just tweeted from UBS. Micron can repurchase more than 40% of its shares by the end of 2028. UBS expects Micron to generate over $40 billion in free cash flow through 2028 once its buyback restriction expires on December 9th. The company could potentially use that cash to repurchase more than 40% of its shares at current price. So it's obviously not going to do that. But what is buyback restriction mean? Why do they have a buyback restriction? I've never heard of this ever. It's like every crypto company ever, buyback restriction. Let's see. Let me ask like ChatGPT. What? I didn't know. I've never heard of this buyback restriction. Why does Micron have a stock buyback restriction? Yeah, I would imagine it's to like encourage capital flow on oh, it's just like limited. Restrictions applicable under our CHIPS Act direct funding agreements. Yeah, okay, makes sense. Agreed to a set of conditions designed to ensure that the government money. Okay, got it. So they received money from the government, and in exchange, they can't use that money to buy back. They have to use it to build out semiconductor capacity rather than primarily enrich shareholders. Yeah, cool. How much money did they get and from who? Okay, we're 41 minutes into open right now. By the way, we're gonna check back in just a second. Came from the Department of Commerce or the Chips and Science Act. Finally, December 2024, they got $6 billion in grants. That's huge. It's a really big number from Micron. It's about it's 893 right now. It's up 5%. Really strong. That means DRAM should be fucking green. Yes, it is. DRAM about to reclaim 55. It's up 4%. Mags are up half. IBB is up 0.13. The Soxtel is ripping as well. That's up 8.17%. And we have a really strong open, all things considered. I missed some of our consumer names. What do we have? Iran is up 15%. Wow, why? Iran has signed a $2.8 billion in new multi-year AI cloud service contract with leading AI developers. Wow. We're proud to support leading companies building frontier applications across design, physical AI, robotics, generative media, AI search, and model development. That has Iran up 15%. AMC's second biggest gainer, up 15%. Nebius, the neoclouds are ripping as well, up 7. CoreWeave is up 7. Wow, some big moves. Roblox is green. I know Rasmus in here. That's +2. Hims is green. Coinbase is green. Hood is green. Biggest loser. Sweet Green is down 6%. Lost the Chris Camillo level once again. Let's check it on crypto. Bitcoin 64.6. Pretty strong. PUMP.FUN 1950. Pretty strong. All right, we're 15 minutes into open. Chat, give me tickers. Also, if you're on YouTube or Twitter, you want to chat, twitch.tv/threadguy. What are you in since Friday? What have you bought? What have you sold? What do you want me to look at? What are you looking to enter? What are you looking to exit? What names do you like? Are you in memory? Did you sell memory? Are you in crypto? Did you sell crypto? Are you in on chain? Are you selling on chain? What is everyone in this chat holding? Probably remove Sweet Green from your watch list at this point. I'm in Solana. I am in Ansem. Some Rectal Capital homies up fat on a pump long. I'm in DRAM. Gavin Baker ruined my shorts. He did ruin your short. Thoughts on the Clarity Act? We'll get there in a minute. Long pump and Ansem. Stonk brokers. Went heavy on DRAM during Friday stream, still in it. Why'd you buy? That's sick. Congrats. Nice trade. You're up a decent. I would imagine you're up a decent percentage. Only Apple and a bit in IBB. Long pump, Ansem, and AMD. That's a beautiful barbell. Let's check in on chain actually. Pump Circle Coinbase. Pump airdrop this week. I think you're gonna be disappointed. Wow, Ansem looks really good. Wow. That, I must admit, is a gorgeous chart. If it keeps going up here on Ansem, I would draw it somewhere like this. That is a really pretty chart. Has Flood closed it? Does anyone have the Flood? Does anyone have the Flood wallet that I seem to have forgotten what it is? Let's see, Cashcat. Oh, it is tagged in Hyperdash. You're right. Not bad either over here on Cashcat. Not bad on Cashcat. Let's check Flood. Thank you, Flying Falcon. I appreciate you, brother. Loracle. I'm kind of bored of this wallet, honestly. Here's Flood. At ATH, this wallet was up like 2.1. It is now up 1.8. He closed the Bitcoin long. He's still in he's still in all the shorts. Closed BTC long. Well, his hype short entries from 69.5. Micron from 11.25. SanDisk from 21.40. Wow. Marvell from 292. He shorted Marvell at 292. Is insane. Where's DRAM? 55. Yeah, it's strong. I closed, man. I don't know. I guess I kind of played it like a bitch, but I closed DRAM basically at break even. The only other thing I'm in is this Shaw's, but I'm kind of getting ready to close this thing as well. It's doing nothing. It got the big announcement. It didn't move, and it's in a weird spot. Let's see Copper. Where's Copper? Not bad on Copper. Gold's back above 4K as well. This is an interesting one. You know, I have a desire to bid this. I really do have a desire to bid this, but I'm just not sure. We'll see. We get here with volume, and this is something I'd be willing to take, a metals trade. I've never taken one before, but I'd be willing to get into this Copper long. All right, let's take a break from the market. We're 15 minutes in. We look pretty decent. DRAM 55. SPY up 0.6. We look pretty decent here, and I want to spend a moment to talk about war and oil. There's a very interesting video that relates to war and oil that I think is important for us because it's a topic we've covered for a long time, specifically what's going to get mentioned in this video. And so we did have escalations over the weekend, pretty serious escalations, which is there were 2 U.S. servicemen that were killed in the Middle East as part of this war. Rest in peace. And I can't really recall a headline of there being like reported American deaths. I think there's been a couple. There's not been many. Remember, there was the helicopter incident. I cannot recall too many headlines of reported American deaths in the Iran conflict during the scope of this war. And it was at a time that it felt like this was completely over. And so Trump comes out and says that we've hit Iran very hard again tonight. We did it in honor of probably 3 patriots who died, probably. And he is speaking to reporters at Joint Base Andrews. Also, Representative Dan Crenshaw just filed a purchase of triple leverage oil ETF, which is crazy. He sits on the House Energy Committee in the House Intelligence Committee. Why on earth is a congressman trading a leveraged oil ETF right now? This should be illegal. This should not be allowed, but it is. This is nuts. Footage of the Iranian ballistic missile strike on the airbase in Jordan last night. At least 2 missiles hit the base, killing 2 American service members. These were the missiles that they're firing. We're now saying it's 3. Look at, I mean, this is nuts. Damn. That, I didn't watch that video before stream. That is terrifying. So 3 Americans have died in this over the weekend. And there's this really interesting video about why oil has not had a crisis yet. And so I want to watch a few minutes of this and just get a couple takes. Why have we not had an oil crisis yet?
Supplies available to them, so they pay what they must. On the other hand, speculators don't want to be exposed to the catastrophic available to them, so they pay what they must. On the other hand, speculators don't want to be exposed to the catastrophic risk that oil starts flowing again and they get stuck holding deliverable oil futures that nobody wants to buy and they end up needing to pay someone to take it off their hands. It's a dumb game. The only winning move is to not play. And well, that's exactly what's starting to happen. So it's time to learn how money works to find out why people are starting to ignore the oil market and why prices are falling anyway despite one of the biggest supply disruptions in modern history. This video is sponsored by Upside. Gas prices, keep groceries, or went out to eat, you were earning cash in the description to get started. Now, the real market participants being forced to play along with the flip-flop oil war does kind of make sense. But the second big problem is that the speculators who normally cushion this market have kind of just given up. Derivative traders like to make this sound more complicated than it is.
I've given up. Well, I traded last week, but I've largely given it up.
But in normal times, these two groups do technically each have a role in this market. Actual oil suppliers and consumers who are happy to forego speculative profits to avoid risk and locked-in guaranteed prices, and speculators who are happy to accept the risk of fluctuating prices to try and make speculative profits. So this whole market is just what the finance bros like to call a risk transfer mechanism. Oil futures don't actually produce anything. They are just a contract. So the only way to make money on them is to sell them for a higher price than which they were bought. Despite being a zero-sum game, this is still a massive market with institutions that spend tens of millions of dollars doing advanced research to find slight pricing discrepancies between the market and reality. The classic example is that some of these firms do crazy things like launch their own imaging satellites to track oil production, count the number of tankers sitting at anchor, and monitor reflections off crude storage tanks to estimate how full they are, all to gain a slight edge over the market. Other firms just go all in on trading speed, so they can react to news a thousandth of a second before everybody else does, which has also contributed to the market's knee-jerk reaction to news, because it often is a reaction that is processed before any real humans actually realize what's going on. This can be very lucrative, but that trading edge is now being evaporated by the far less predictable announcements surrounding this war. It's a little bit like someone counting cards to gain a slight advantage at the blackjack table. If they are very smart and collect the right data, in a fair game, they should be profitable over the long term. But if the dealer is cheating by throwing cards to their buddy at the same table, well then all that hard work is basically pointless. A desk of PhD analysts could synthesize terabytes of proprietary data to eke out a few basis points of alpha in a normal market. But in this market, all that effort can be wiped out by somebody who got a heads up 15 minutes before a tweet went out. Again,
This is the problem. You're trading oil, you're not playing a fair game.
for the speculators, this is a zero-sum market. For that miraculously timed trade to win, someone else has to lose. So a lot of them have just been choosing not to play. Typically, speculators are attracted to markets with a lot of volatility, and this did happen at the beginning of the war as big swings meant big opportunities for speculative profits. But trading firms have, understandably, started seeing this as unacceptable risk and have pulled back. According to data from Saxo Bank, net speculative open interest has dropped towards a 16-year low with the only exception of August last year, at a time when
16-year low open interest on oil. That is actually, I did not know that was true. That's one of the craziest statistics I've ever heard. Think about that. The one time where it's interesting for normal people to trade oil and it's at a 16-year low on open interest. Everybody's just stopped. The only people, it's just like it's just like insiders trading back and forth on oil. It's nuts.
typically we would expect more market activity. Now, I know what you might be thinking. A bunch of hedge funds can't make money because the market is rigged against them. Outside of glorious irony, who really cares? Well, unfortunately, this matters because, in theory, these firms serve the function of price discovery and providing liquidity between the suppliers and the users. They were obviously doing this to seek their own profits, but in doing so, they cushioned the market a bit. They absorbed some of the volatility that would otherwise land directly on the actual oil companies that just wanted to offload the risk of oil price swings. Without the risk accepting speculators, these actual participants are left absorbing more of the price swing directly, which means the market has less capacity to absorb shocks, and even a moderately sized announcement can move prices further than it should because there are fewer counterparties willing to take the other side and call these announcements out on their bluff. Now, for the record, I just want to say that even with the exodus, the vast majority of futures trading is still done by speculators. But the ratio of price takers to risk acceptors really matters. Going from 2% to 5% of the market being physically settled might only sound like a 3% difference, but in reality, it's actually more like a 150% difference in market buffer. The third factor that really needs to be acknowledged is that this war has become very politically sensitive. There are really three regimes staking their reputation on how much they can control the other two, and a big part of that control depends on where this price line sits. All of that is to say that, just as much as announcements around this war have influenced movements in the price of oil, movements in the price of oil have also influenced these announcements. So yeah, it sounds dumb, and it is dumb, but there is actually some good news in all of this. Despite everything I have just said about the market being more exposed, it is still slowly starting to ignore all of these dumb headlines. Obviously, there has been a lot of noise back and forth over this war, and this is by no means
So, anyways, it's kind of hit the mainstream that people are just straight up not trading oil because fuck that. Why would you trade oil? Why would you trade oil? I mean, I know I've done it quite a few times, but why would you trade oil? It's a pretty unfair game, and it makes it sort of scary because, like, the thing that makes it uncomfortable is that the market is not super reliable. Like, the prices of oil is not a very reliable figure to tell us where we are at in the war. And then you're playing, in a lot of ways, it forces you to play blind. which is not a spot that you want to be at. We're kind of playing blind. When the market, the ultimate source of truth, can no longer be counted on as reliable to tell us where we are at and what is happening in the market, you get left in like a really brutal spot. You get left in a really, let's watch like one more minute of it just in case. Let me see if he has anything else good.
Going to be perfect. But as best as we could, we actually looked at all of the major announcements we could find saying the war would be
Also, how are we still talking about this, for the love of everything?
coming to an end, and announcements that the war would be escalated, and then line them up with the respective daily movements in oil prices. And well, the impacts are clearly declining. Again, obviously this isn't perfect. I can only subject Harry to collecting so many, data points as punishment for his crimes. But in the early days of the war, a tweet about bombing Iran back to the Stone Age made oil prices rise by 8%. In late June, there was a similar post about new strikes on Iran infrastructure, and the market just totally ignored it. Prices actually fell slightly. On the flip side, peace talk announcements in April saw the biggest single-day drop in oil prices outside of the pandemic. But last month, the Memorandum of Understanding, the one where we would give Iran a $300 billion fund, only pushed prices down by 2%. In a similar reversal of logic, early this month, an announcement of the Qatari deal going well also actually pushed prices up. Now obviously this is not absolute, and real actions can still push prices around. Just this past Tuesday, Iranian strikes on tankers sent Brent up 3%, and then the ceasefire was declared over and prices
Just set such a rough precedent. Like, the market is the source of truth. You have got to be able to listen to the market. If you can't listen to the market, what are we as, capitalists? Like, what are we? What is America if we can't listen to the market? If the market is rigged, what are we? It actually does have some long-term implications. Tail this with Trump threatening to sell True Social API data to the world. It's like, what are we if this? It's like the market doesn't even move on this shit anymore.
prices climbed again. But the general trend is that the market is taking the words from both sides less and less seriously with every false start. Oh, and there is one more thing. Not only is the market taking these press releases less seriously, it also just seems to be taking the war less seriously as well. Despite no real progress towards a long-term solution, prices are basically right back where they were when this conflict started, which does raise the obvious question of why? Well, this is the part of the video that has the potential to really not age well, but for now, there are a few reasons. One is that the world is simply just consuming less oil. People have responded to the increased prices now of 0.9% of China has to 1 million barrels per year, 23, and diesel demand peaked in 20 have them to selling net and raising output quotas, adding roughly 100 or being quoted barrels per day this for evil government had one of the big factors in the last August where found the party by one described as may not that it could use its 1.4 is that it's done and you settle the US to a way. Pan finance determined to take thorough action.
It's a problem. It's the only reason really worth talking about this war as it relates to the market is how terrifying that they have let it get, how anti-signal they've let it get. All right, let's check back in. Where are we? DRAM is 50. It's pretty weak. We are 28 minutes into the open. DRAM is losing that key level, which I don't know how key it is, but it feels like a significant one, being that gap fill level. 54.14. Mags are back to even. Probably means Google lost it. Soxo is now only up 5. SOX is up 2. Qs are up 0.8. The NASDAQ up 0.6. Bitcoin is kind of losing it as well. 64.2. Nasty Bart. PUMP.FUN 1940. Does that mean oil? Speak of the devil. Does that mean that it's green? It is fairly green. VV is down 2.5. Nasty sell off there. Palantir's up 1%. And wow. $120 on SpaceX. Is anyone here brave enough to step in and make a play? I mean, the thing that's so scary about SpaceX is that 20% of the supply unlocks in like 20 days. 20% of the supply on SpaceX unlocks in 20 days. What do you do? Wow, down 2.5. So there was that Gavin Baker clip, if you remember. Wow, I mean, look at this. Look at the daily. Look at the daily. You don't even need this. There's that Gavin Baker clip about Cerebras that basically reads, when a IPO goes below deal price, the bankers rage quit and just like slam sell because like the precedent that it sets. They want the fuck out. They get the fuck out. They slam sell if it goes under deal price. And we are now $15 under deal price and is rapidly dipping here. That's pretty scary. Where's the big? Let's see. So Apple is red. Google retrace because mags are red. Shaw's Google did not retrace. That thing is strong. Google's leading mags. Micron's 883. It's still strong. Yeah, SpaceX, man. Look at this. Look at this thing on. I mean, it opened at like 125. Really not great. At the same, think about this too, right? It's like, okay, SpaceX is now, oh my God. SpaceX is now 12% below IPO price, below deal price on the IPO. And the next two biggest out of the pocket of IPOs, Anthropic and OpenAI, are having their economics destroyed in real time. Think about that. With Kimi K3, open source China. So the three biggest capital suck IPOs ever that are all going to come within a year of each other are kind of single-handedly getting dismantled, if you will. That's not great. OpenAI and Anthropic have to rethink their valuations. Yeah, or just like not go public yet. Or rush, right? That's the other option. NVIDIA's up 1.5. Amazon's up 0.6, but it retraced a lot of the move. Microsoft is down 1. SpaceX orders at 185. I mean, I don't even know how you bid something like this. I'm not really a knife catcher. Like, this feels like the rage sell off. Like, look at the, let's go like 4 hour. Basically, from the moment it got below 135, there's not even been an attempt. Just finished reminiscent of a stock operator. He said if the leaders stop leading, the bull run might be over. It's actually a really good take. Look at this, though. From 135, there's not even been a single attempt. You get a couple wicks, but not there hasn't even been one green candle. This whole road here as it relates to SpaceX. That's scary, man. It is scary. Yeah, you could argue the new leaders are like DRAM, Micron, and things of this nature. But I mean, look, Micron has the best earnings of all time. And even that's down to 30%. You need Micron to do well. You need SanDisk to really do well. They're both up 5 today. Kind of at key levels. But the high time frame of these charts is like really seen better days, you know? Fuck. Where's 54.4 DRAM. These next 2 weeks, yeah, these are gonna be really good weeks to tune into the stream, I think. The story that's getting set up with AI. That's why I wanted to spend the first, 45 minutes talking about the AI situation, because it's setting up for mania. It's setting up to be really important. Where are we with Bitcoin? 64.3. And pump is 1950s. Google earnings this week. Let's see. Anything we care about? No. AMC. Oh, AMC. Tuesday, Charles Schwab, IBKR on Tuesday, Capital One on Tuesday, Northrop Grumman on Tuesday. It's just bullish AMC. What do you got? Avengers Doomsday. We'll watch it in a minute. Halliburton Company. What else? Earnings. Webster Financial. Alaska Air. United Community Banks. Nothing. Wednesday is Google, Tesla, Philip Morris, GE, Texas Instruments, AT&T, ServiceNow. Whoa. Google, Tesla, Philip Morris. Wednesday. CME Group. Wow. That's a big one. Thursday is... Oh. Thursday is Intel. And T-Mobile and RTX. Friday is American Express, Verizon, HCA. Wow. So this week we have Google, Tesla, Philip Morris, Intel, IBKR. That's a really big week. Fuck. That is a really big week. Man, oh man, oh man. All right. 30 minutes in, 36 minutes in now. Market is weak, but we are in, I don't know, interesting spot. Not terrifying, but not particularly optimistic. And I would like to completely switch gears. And I want to talk about the best performing asset in the market right now, which is cryptocurrency. And in particular, it is a token that goes by the name of PUMP.FUN. So I'm going to get up one more time really quick. I'll be back in 30 seconds. And when I'm back, we have a lot of on-chain crypto to cover. BRB. Be down today with the cost. Also, YouTube. There's a lot of people on YouTube. If you want to chat, Twitch TV /threadguy. I thought I'd be down with the Cosby. You know what I think is the Cosby was closed on last session last week, and so I kind of feel like it was catching up. Like I felt like I had some undiscussed PA to deal with. Yeah, 54.18 week. Bitcoin's holding up decent, all things considered. Pump 1936. All right. First couple market posts. Serenity made this post today that would you ever do a few hours of a trenching stream? You know what? I maybe would, by the way. I maybe would do a trenching stream. 49% drawdown this month after the recent crash on Serenity. And so Serenity posted this P&L, who has been one of the hottest traders of this cycle in stocks, is down 50% this month. Is nuts. 50% this month is insane. From Serenity, and then one of the second best traders that I have on my feed is this irrational analysis guy. I think I have noties on. No, but I should. Really, really good account. Posted a P&L. It's on 34% this month. Minus 700K. That is brutal. That is brutal. And so it happens fast, right? Like some of these P&Ls that have gone so nuts have the crazy retrace run backs. So trenching streams would be awesome. Should do it for the culture. The problem is doing trenches streams is just like it leads to ruin and tears and everyone's mad and everyone's upset and it's just like every time it just like leads to disaster. Should clarify no one copy trade. Yeah, ideally, right? It just leads to ruin every single time. Yeah, don't follow what I'm doing. Meanwhile, obviously, like you're following what I'm doing. All right, let's talk about crypto a little bit. Let us get into some crypto topics. I want to first start with an Ansem clip, an Ansem thesis, and then I want to spend some time talking about why I am so bullish on Pump right now. Let's start with this.
One of the reasons that Dogecoin went so high is because you have this set of buyers who were never going to buy stocks, didn't care about stocks at all, or not, and didn't have any money invested in the stock market, but they'll invest in Dogecoin. And they'll invest in Dogecoin because they relate to the meme. They think the meme's funny. It's like fun to invest with their friends and all these different things. Elon's attached to it. So something that they can understand easily and is relatable. And I think it's kind of discounted a lot, like how much like how large that group of people is that will invest in whatever or buy whatever meme, but won't invest in stocks. Like if you look at Instagram, for example, Instagram has what, like 3 billion users, but the holders of Meta is only like 30 million. It's only like 30 million people that own Meta stock.
It's actually an interesting take. And I'm going to talk about the unlock. It's actually an interesting take. 3 billion users, but 30 million Meta stockholders.
And that's why I spoke on, I think, like figuring out a way that the reason Meta has value is because all the people on Instagram are spending a fuck ton of time on that app, contributing a lot of value to the network by using their time and their attention and whatever. People pay for ads on Meta because there's 3 billion people on the app, like all the fucking time. But the people who are like determining the value of this network typically don't have a stake in the upside. And so if you can figure out a way to kind of flip the social media model on its head, where the people who actually are the reason the network has value also have upside in the value of the network, there's a completely like regime change on how all these things operate. And I think that one of the ways to do that is through memes.
Interesting take. The holder, no, it's crazy at 3 billion users. The holder number thing is a good take. But all right, here's an Ansem thesis on Pump. And I guess to set the stage, I spent in my head at least every stream of the last, I don't know, week, maybe more, talking about Pump.FUN. Like that's the only thing I feel like I did for the last week. But I was looking at my feed on, parentheses rant. Everything I posted was like why I'm obsessed with meme coins right now. Nonstop. So, Ansem posts, bought Pump here on the reclaim of old support at 1675. Thesis. Making 30 to 40 million a month during bear market for on-chain. Believe that SOL will dominate retail activity again this cycle, and Pump.FUN will be most likely beneficiary of this activity if that happens. Hard for me to believe that they don't see the opportunity in front of them by providing a stimulus package to the trenches with the airdrop, especially given historical precedent of how Jito and Jupiter jump-started on-chain activity in late 2023. If they do airdrop 300 million plus, then volume, attention, activity should improve meaningfully, regularly competing with Hyperliquid and Polymarket for most profitable crypto protocol. Also, hard for me to believe that they don't want the token to do well as they own a meaningful amount of it, which just started unlocking, and their entire business is centered around allowing retail to speculate on tokenization. Invalidation at lows during unlock sell-off around 0.0014. And so he posted this at like 1828 is where he posted this. And the chart pumped a lot. I kind of feel like it's just because of Ansem motion. And it sparked a ton of controversy, particularly around this, which is, in case you're wondering why a bunch of people are posting Pump suddenly out of nowhere, and it has a screenshot of the unlock schedule. Okay, let me see, like, there's one more post I like, which is starting right now. There's another, So it's basically a combination of posting the unlocks and then people posting that the fees are fake. Like the consistent revenue of PUMP.FUN is super sus. There's like a duopoly of both. I don't think I'm gonna read this yet. Okay, so I've been thinking about it a lot as it relates to crypto, and I genuinely think we are not that far away from some level of mania in alts in like a couple coins. It was the thesis I had when I first bought Zcash a couple months back, which was a really, really, really big trade for me. It was the same thesis I had when after Cashcat came out, which led me to start bull posting Pump. And it's the same thesis I have when I am about to tell you that I like Zcash again. And I think what's separating factors between PUMP.FUN and Zcash from the rest of crypto is that these two coins have built out a pocket of diehards and supporters and buyers and traders that are going to exist within that eco regardless of what happens to the rest of the market. Okay. And I mentioned PUMP.FUN, I mentioned Zcash, and that they will continue. They are just like gonna, the Navals of the world, the Balgis of the world, the Chamaths of the world, the Jasons, like they have just like decided that Zcash is the chosen one for them, and that this coin is just going to get discussed and discussed and discussed and discussed. And this buyer based like does not exist for random alts. It does not exist for like Sui or like Barachain or like even Ethereum. I don't even think it exists for Ethereum, right? This like pocket of rich, non-traditional crypto buyer base does not exist for most coins. It exists for Zcash, it exists for Hyperliquid, it exists for Pump. And so it has me excited about Zcash again at least a like high time frame if we get back type of level. And so I think that that is important to understand. Number one, if things were to go crazy again, that is a coin that's going to benefit very, very well from it, in my opinion. And the other obvious coin that I got very excited about is PUMP.FUN. And I sort of told this story, but the reason I got excited about PUMP.FUN again and then eventually started bidding it is after Cashcat happened, okay? Because I had like intellectually written off memes as I have no interests. I don't want to touch them again. I have, I don't know. I turned pretty hard as it relates to memes on this stream. And I didn't trade a coin on chain other than Scam Altman for like, I don't even know when the last meaningful, probably cards was the coin I traded on chain, which I wouldn't even really call purely a meme coin. It's the last thing I traded on chain for a long time. And I had completely ignored the meme coin stuff. And I almost could not believe it when Robinhood Chain launches and Vlad follows Cashcat. And once again, I am having this almost like feral, out of body, animal spirits rationalizing themselves into the real world experience, like desperate to bridge and to buy Cashcat. And at the same time, like the Cashcat thing is happening, you get Ansem at like 400 mil. And I don't know, man. I just like sat here 2 weeks ago or whatever, and I'm looking at the market and I'm thinking to myself, like, how is it possible that two meme coins in July of 2026 that launched within a week of each other are over 100 mil? How? Like, actually, how is that possible? That these two meme coins, there's two meme coins that are over 100 mil, is like, after what we've been through in crypto in the last year, is so ridiculous to me that it is hard to even process that is fathomable. And so I just kind of sat here and I looked at the market and thought, man, these guys are not going anywhere. And so I decided, like, all right, hold up. So my entry's the yellow line, but I just like, hold up. Let me dive into this a little bit more. Let me like really look at what's going on here because this is nuts to me. And like Pump was one of my trades of the year of 2025. Like I love PUMP.FUN. And so I was like, all right, let me just take a look at what the fuck is actually going under the hood. And I kind of did this last week, but just to show you again, like I could not believe what I saw. And what I saw was PUMP.FUN DEX volume on the weekly that looks like this. And then more impressively, PUMP.FUN fees that looks like this. This on the weekly since launch 2024. This starts in March 2024. And it looks like this. And I don't know, I sort of came to the conclusion of this cohort of diehards that trade these memes are really not going anywhere. People are not going anywhere. These numbers are disgusting. And I started getting like, I started getting like intellectually obsessed with memes. And I think the craziest thing about this chart for PUMP.FUN on fees is when you look at this one, bro. Extreme narrative violation. I'm not doing this to fight anyone's bags. I'm just showing you what I'm showing you. And you look at Hyperliquid weekly fees, and it looks like this. And it's worse. It's like, doesn't look great. And you look at Hyperliquid like revenue. Doesn't look great. And you look at revenue over, like, look at this. Watch this. Revenue market cap for Hype. It's not bad, and it is holding. Hyperliquid has an incredible moat and an incredible business. But I think the thing that's scary about Hype at this price, $60 plus, basically new all-time high, is that it has extreme competition. Everyone's going after it. The prediction markets are going after it. Lighter's going after it. Coinbase is going after it. Robinhood's going after it. Like, everyone is going to go after it really hard. Ron, thank you for the gifted. And so it looks like this, right? Revenue market cap, where it has revenue goes up a bunch, market cap goes up a bunch, and then revenue like is down to flat, and then market cap goes up a bunch again. And then you come back to Pump, and you look at it through this lens, which is like, we'll go fees to market cap. Why does this not look good? No, not events. Why does this it starts tracking it late? What? Oh, because the coin was late. Fees to market cap, and fees were high. Market cap went crazy. Remember this run right here? Remember this chart? It was like the streamer run. You remember when streamer coins were going crazy? And then market cap falls off of a cliff. And fees stay the same. They stay the exact same. They don't move. They stay the exact same while price legs down like, I mean, from that chart, price is down like, fees are the exact same, and it's down 80% right here. It's down 80% right here. And so I just started like looking at Pump and looking at these numbers and thinking to myself, like, man, like, let's go like DEX volume. Like, I'm just like looking, like, when price was, 75% higher, DEX volume was so low. DEX volume was like exploded from that, and market cap is way lower. And so the main takeaway and the thing that I want to like articulate as to why I'm going to hold on to Pump, I think, for a while, is that Hyperliquid gets this crazy premium on the idea that it's going to be here and be the winning perp DEX for the next decade. That is sort of the hype. Like, if you are a really long hype, that's your thesis. And I think it's a really good one. Like, I think it's a really good one. Like, I think there's a very good chance Hyperliquid wins. And I think the piece of the pie that Hyperliquid is playing for is huge. And so their opportunity they're going after is massive. Their moat is substantial and it's held out. It's held very, very well. No, there are hype unlocks. There's just no investor unlocks. There's definitely hype unlocks. There's team unlocks. What they're going after is huge. Their team is super trusted, and their revenue and their numbers have held up very, very, very well. And then you go to the flip side, which is PUMP.FUN, and the PUMP.FUN is like doing equally substantial numbers, but everyone looks at Pump as like, we hate Elon and nobody trades meme coins. And I think the biggest narrative violation to this idea is that people trade meme coins. And this is the reason that I got excited about it. And it almost like didn't seem right to me that it was possible. That it could be this cheap at this point, is that the right tail to meme coins don't go away, I think, is priced horrifically wrong. It is priced horrifically wrong. And if you look at the numbers, it says that they are not going anywhere. And it manifests in a bunch of posts that look similar to this. And I think the thing that is so funny about this post, which is that, you know, basically it's insinuating that the numbers are fake, is that the only people that know pump volume is real, or mostly real, is this sicko group of like 10,000 wallets that trades on chain all day. And if you don't trade on chain, and you're not in these like FNF chats, and you're not paying attention to what's happening actually on the chain in the low cap trenches, it feels fake. And the thing that is funny about it is, of the crowd themselves that trades these tokens, none of them are willing to buy $1 billion coin. None of them. And so it just like leaves this gap where the only people that are willing to buy the coin think it's fake. It is really funny. Wow. What a tweet. The flat and consistent gaming revenue of MGM Resorts is so sus. What a tweet, actually, from Rasmer. What a tweet. And so the other argument here then is like, a lot of people are posting this, which is, in case you're wondering why a bunch of people are both posting Pump suddenly out of nowhere, and it has the unlock schedule. And I mean, here it is. Okay. First unlock hit on July 12th. It already happened. For 9% of supply, 22% of float. The next unlock is August 12th for 0.7. And then it's continuously every month, 0.7. 0.7 September, 0.7 October, 0.7 November, 0.7 December, 0.7 January, 0.7 February. And then it goes 0.7 until we're like fully unlocked. And so you look at this and you're like, hold on. You're telling me that the biggest unlock by far of this last tranche, 9%, 23% of the flow unlocked on July 12th, bro, on Pump. And so it's right. It's here, bro. It's bottom tick. Look at this. This was it. That was the unlock. It went up significantly. Like it ripped. And I don't know, is it like the team artificially making price go up so they could sell their unlocks? Like, I don't know. Maybe. But I look at this as, I think, one of, or at least what I consider to be one of the most exciting stories in crypto. Because I just think the numbers are disgusting. The numbers are disgusting, and nobody really wants to give it credit. Nobody really wants to give it credit. I don't know. No one wants to give it the benefit of the doubt of it being somewhat legit. And so maybe at some point here we'll get a lawn stream part 2 or whatever it is. But anyways, you know, I like to talk about my position. This is my position. I took a entry at like 1681. It's up 17%. It's on 2x leverage. I didn't want to go too crazy. 2x leverage. A lot of size. And it's trading pretty well so far. If it like loses, I don't know, this scoop down here, like basically the unlock level, like if it were to go down 30% below the unlock level, I'd probably be out. But I am down to sit in this right now on the level of some optimism that crypto is going to catch some flows here. I think Bitcoin looks good. I think crypto looks good. And I'm down to get fairly optimistic about it, especially if we start to get muted gains in like semis again. If we get muted gains in stocks, people are going to look for more volatility. They're going to go further back out. That's when things like copper get interesting. That's when things like silver get interesting again. And of course, crypto. OG Kobe thesis: when unlocks get bullish. What do you think performs better, Pump or Ansem coin? You know, it depends how back we are. Depends how back we get. This is impressive, by the way, Cash Cut. It's impressive. It depends how back we get. I think if we get like full blown mania, then Ansem coin will go crazy. Ansem coin outperforms if we get full blown mania. If we don't, then I think Pump. But I think they both probably do pretty well. But Ansem coin like hits multiples if we go parabolic. Check his new tweet. Oh my God. Hold on. Microsoft plans to test China's Kimi K3 for Copilot as it adds open weight model to Azure. Engineers will evaluate whether K3 can power features currently using OpenAI and Anthropic models. Wow. K3 recently topped Arena's coding leaderboard. Whoa, that feels like a big announcement. Wow. Microsoft to do that. I'm going to read Brian in a minute. Microsoft doesn't move on that. What about Baba, which owns 36% of Moonshot being Kimi? Does Baba move on that? No, nothing moves on that. Interesting announcement, though, nonetheless. All right, let's take a look. Also, YouTube, Twitter, wherever you are watching, if you want to chat, twitch.tv/threadguy. All right, Brian Armstrong, who recently had some crazy drama and controversy over his PFP change that he changed back in one day to a meme coin, Brian. Regarding the recent buzz around my profile picture changes and some feelings that the base community isn't being supported enough, I appreciate the feedback, even if tough to hear, and I realize you wouldn't take the time to respond unless you cared. It seems I wasn't clear enough setting expectations for all of you, so let me try and do that now. Please don't follow my personal X account for investment advice or signals around individual coins. I'm simply posting things I find interesting or funny on the internet. I may not even be aware if there is a coin or project attached to the content I'm posting. You should assume I'm not to be safe. My posts and profile pics are also not endorsements or commitments to anything. Base is our shot at building foundational infra for financialized services where we can all innovate together. That includes tokenized stocks. Here we go with this fucking, I'm so sick of the stablecoin payments, and yes, even meme coin trading. I believe in economic freedom and support you trading whatever you want. Just realize you're treating my X account as alpha. You are doing so at your own risk against my wishes. More, tokenized RWAs. I would never recommend this. On the topic of support from the base team or Coinbase, there seems to be confusion around this too. There are many tokens we would like to list on our centralized exchange, but can't for compliance and regulatory reasons. If you want me or Jesse to pump your bags or shill certain coins, we're also not going to do that. Here's what we are committed to on support. We run in-person base batches and issue grants to high potential builders. Coinbase Ventures and Base Ecosystem Fund also invest in promising companies building on Base, and we periodically integrate promising Base DeFi protocols into our products in Coinbase. I might even mention that in X if I think it's interesting, but again, this is not investment advice. You may like this approach or you may not, but either way, hopefully it creates clarity going forward so you can decide what you want to do. I respect your choice either way. P.S. I still might post memes if I think they are funny. It's not investment advice. This is such a useless post. I mean, this was like the most useless post of all time. He should have just said nothing. This was like an extraordinarily useless post, to be quite honest. I mean, look, he changed his profile picture to a meme coin one day after saying base is a huge focus in appointing Kobe. Like, what? I don't know. You appoint Kobe right after Robinhood starts going crazy with on-chain, and then people are like, okay, fuck it, let's run base coins, and he changes PFP to a meme coin. I mean, you just shouldn't have done that. I don't know what else to say. You shouldn't have done that. You should not. He should not have done that. I don't know what else to say. Why would he do that? It's like, bro, it's 2026. Why would you do that? It just like makes absolutely no sense. It's like, whatever. No, we're gonna just move on and forget it happened. Then we're gonna go back to like what we were doing before. Cashcat is kind of ripping on the news. I mean, I don't like really want to shit on him because I don't know. I like Brian. Brian's my homie, I think. We've had a call. But it's just like such a useless post, man. And I'm so sick of these, by the way. This paragraph is like so tilting. Bases our shot at building a foundational infrastructure for financial services. That includes tokenized stocks, borrow lend protocols, stablecoin payments, and RWAs. It's like, bro, we get it with the fucking RWAs, man. We get it with the RWAs. We get it. We fucking get it with the RWAs, man. Please. Please, with the RWAs, we get it. You want to do tokenized stocks, we get it. We get it. It's just like, what did you expect, you know? I don't know. It's like, I don't know. It's just like a useless post. It's kind of like I just always look, in a lot of ways, if you're an exchange founder, I think that the meme coin thing is probably like a little bit annoying to you. It's just like weird distraction that you feel as if it's an elephant in the room that you have to address because they're so much louder than everybody else. It's like this uncomfortable elephant in the room that you don't really know what to do with because you probably do have to address it and you should address it and you want to get users. And so you sort of like play with it, but everybody like plays with it weird. You know, you kind of got to pick a stance. I think everybody plays with it weird, in my opinion. And it leads to these outcomes where everybody loses. Okay. This is, it's like this meme coins on base chain.
Yo, what's up? What's up?
It's like, you got to do it, you know? You feel like you have to address it. You feel like you have to do something about it because they're so loud. And then you see like Robinhood getting some motion and you like don't really know what to do. But I don't know. I would prefer they just like ignore it completely because then you go the mid curve route. The mid curve route is let me change my PFP to a meme coin. Let me change my PFP to a meme coin after saying or insinuating we're going to like support memes and then change it back instantly. Like, what? Actually, what is that? What is that? Who was doing that? That was not Kobe's idea. You cannot convince me that that was Kobe's idea. Kobe was like, hey, Brian, change your PFP, then change it back. No way was that Kobe's idea. I would imagine Kobe was like, guys, let's not. And they're like, no, let's. And then there you go. Or even better. How about this? Brian, here is actually a suggestion. Here is a suggestion to all of the founders that are running exchanges that want to do RWAs. How about this? Okay. How about you decide what your king-made RWA platform is, CC index, or whatever you want to use, and you exchange cabal it. Make your PFP index or whatever it is. Follow index. Support the thing. Drive all attention and volume to that. Convince the trenchers to buy that coin. How about that? Why not something in that direction? Why don't we do that? It's like, no, I don't know. You get stuck in the middle, I think. It makes this weird, bizarre precedent, and everybody sort of ends up like losing on this. I don't know. I don't know. Anyways, let's go back. And actually, let's see some responses to this is what I want to see. So what is this? What does this read? It doesn't take that read. Yes, the buybacks are fake. Or yes, the buybacks are there. Yes, the team is proven to be untrustworthy. And something come back from retirement to show memes on Salon and PUMP.FUN. Before taking a very public long position in alongside many other KOLs, seemingly at the same time, miraculously enough, is pretty sus. You know what's funny is like Ansem never stopped shilling meme coins, funny enough, but to each their own. Let's see. Brian. Are there any good replies to this? Dog what? You literally found a Coinbase, now you're trying to plead ignorance of the impact you have on cryptocurrency industry. How dumb do you think we are? Meaningless corpus slop. Yeah, this post did not help anyone, man. I don't know. It was just like a slap in the face kind of post. Yeah. What about quote tweets? It's just I also don't necessarily feel as if an exchange is required to bend the knee to meme coins. Like, you could have just said, like, Vlad could have said no, and Robinhood could still succeed. Like, I don't believe as a blockchain or an exchange that you are required to bend the knee to the meme coin guys. I don't necessarily think that it has to be the way the world works. You don't have to bend the knee. It's a choice. Bending the knee is a choice. You make a choice to bend the knee to meme coins, and then you support them. And if you do, great. If you don't, great. But you got to pick, okay? I don't think it is your obligation to bend the knee. This is like a total, you did it to yourself. You signal that maybe you will, and then everybody gets excited, and then you're in a weird spot. But it's not too late until you do it. And so, I don't know. Like, I feel like, yeah, it's a choice. To play the meme coin game is a choice. It is. It's a choice. You could ignore it if you would like to ignore it. DNAP, is this video of why I sold everything a good video? Also, let's check in on the market real quick. This is a good video to watch. Let's check in on where we're at. DRAM is losing it. It's not a good video. Got it. Is there anything else you think that's good that we need to get in for today? DRAM 53.8. Ugh. Mags about to go red. GV red. Soxel weak. SPY is only up 0.2 now. It's up as much as 0.66. Hour and 15 minutes into open. Not great. Nasdaq 0.5. Dow flipped red. Bitcoin 64.3. Not bad. Pump 1970. Strong as fuck. Hyperliquid 61. Pretty strong. Let's check in over here. RoboStrategy is now down 9%. It is officially below the level at where Andrew Kang announced he's the CEO. Look at this chart. RoboStrategy is setting up to be a CLED ticker Bitcoin-esque cursed chart. You can already see it. I'm not going to lie. You can already see it, that this could become one of those cursed crypto charts. You can already see it. Bloom Energy is down 8, lost 200 again. Shaw is 61. I might have to get the fuck out of here. This thing. Oracles. Look at this chart as well. Talk about cursed. SpaceX 121. Wow. Kevin Zoo curse is right. He's all in Sive too. IBM 210. SanDisk is holding. Micron is holding. This is good. I'll come back to this. There's definitely some holding going on, but it is not the cleanest. Is that Brent? Candling green? No. It's definitely not the best day in the stock market. But fucking Bitcoin, man, likes to be strong, and PUMP.FUN is extraordinarily strong. Yeah, DRM 5397 on the RAM of D's. Let's see if there's any good tweets from our guys. Let's check in like Gavin Baker. And we'll do a TL scroll. Nothing from Baker. I really want to get Gavin Baker on stream, by the way. I hope we can do it. I think we can pull it off at some point. Let's see response. I mean, maybe where there's a coin or project attached to the content I'm posting. You know what's crazy is like about the Brian thing. Last thing I'll let it go for now is this. I mean, he made this terrible PFP his PFP. Like this is awful. This is a really bad profile picture. Made this his PFP. It's a bad PFP, objectively. Like, what is this? That is a bad PFP. I may not even be aware if there's a coin or project attached to the content I'm posting. Brian, there was a token called Brian on your chain doing 100 million volume with 10,000 people trading it. Thousands of them tagging you, replying to you, asking you to acknowledge the situation. How can you not know? It's not an excuse. That's an admission that you don't pay attention to what's happening on your own chain. If you generally didn't know, that's worse. Because it means the CEO of Coinbase with 100 million users is so detached from his own ecosystem that 100 million volume token named after him on his own L2 didn't reach his radar. While thousands of people were in his replies. You put Kobe in charge of the Base app. You replied to Ansem about why Base is dead. You engaged with Jesse about meme coins publicly. You changed your PFP to a meme coin. You clearly knew what effect these actions have on a market that watches your every move. You're not new to this. So either you knew and you're pretending you didn't, or you didn't and you need someone around you who does. Because right now, 10,000 people are down 99% of the coin named after you on your chain that pumped because you changed your PFP, and you're telling them it's their fault for paying attention to you. That's not a disclaimer. Jesus. Oh my God. Yeah, rough. So where does that leave us like with the on-chain? Kind of when people blame others for losing money. I could go both ways on this. You know, I could go both ways. But I think he just shouldn't have done it. You know? What's index at? 14. Brutal. On-chain is just so weak. Pawns? 14, not bad. By the way, was the PFP changed before the coin was made? No. The PFP was changed like 3 days later. Yeah. The PFP was changed 3 days later, bro. PFP is after the coin, not coin after the PFP. I think Cashcat looks pretty good, surprisingly. And Ansem looks good as well. Okay, so my take on what makes crypto interesting of a couple coins that have carved out a market that will bid them no matter what. Meme coin traders being one, and I think Zcash is another. I'm just gonna say this: a coin that you could argue falls into that category is is cards. This coin, this cursed coin, when you see pump trending well, I can't help but think this is an interesting one as well. I really can't. I'm sorry. Call me nuts. It got Arthur'd and all that. But call me nuts. This is an interesting coin as well if we get activity to come back on chain. Like if you get real on chain activity to come back, it's an interesting coin. I must admit. All right. Money printer tweet. What's it about? The world runs on capitalism, whether it's ownership, shares and stocks, debt, or rights. The world is diverse. We have instruments for everything. Electric cars, the internet, memory, consumer staples, robots, everything. Crypto's mistake was that we had a diverse solution for an inherently undiverse problem set. Essentially, we were solving internet money disconnected from the real world. This coming cycle, that's no longer the case. Our diverse solution set meets the real world diverse problem set. What smart contracts can run on Tesla share? Can one run on Tesla shares? What smart contracts can one run on Google shares? What smart contracts can one run on broader indices and ETFs? What smart contracts can one run on commodity futures, on bonds? Derivative contracts made its debut when stocks reached escape velocity with the masses and record-keeping technology reached trust escape velocity. Today, we're seeing the same thing happen with cryptocurrencies. Derivative contracts of the past are static assets, useful and creates a layer of abstraction for spot assets. But today, we have the opportunity to take every single asset on Earth a step further. We can make everything programmable. This is our cycle. Money printer OX. Wow. Tokenize the fucking stocks. Wow. Tokenize the fucking stocks. Wait, guys. What if, and hear me out on this. Really think about this for a second. What if we had a blockchain that was connected to a popular exchange and we focused on RWAs, real world assets, and we tokenized the stocks? Whoa. What is a raccoon at, by the way? What's it called? Joshua? What's it called? Jimothy. Dude, this thing is so funny. Is it real? Is it real? Is that real?
What am I looking at?
That thing is real.
You have
There's a bounty to kill it for how much? Dude, don't kill it. Oh. Wait, hold on. What is it?
We the baby don't have a tail.
Is it just no tail or is it like deformed? It can't just be no tail. It's like missing like it's missing like more than a tail.
You have the strangest body, buddy. Holy cow.
I was gonna say it's gotta be more than just a tail, right? Do you think aliens would make meme coins off of disabled humans? That's fucked up. No, 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 no. Do not do that. Do not kill it. That's fucked up. Do not do that. Do not do that, dude. That is fucking fucked up. That is fucked up. Do not do that, dude. Do not do that. Okay, there is some bad war escalation news. Peanut ran to how much? Dude, stop. The Iranian Navy has reportedly struck the Malta-flagged LR-1 product tanker in the Strait of Hormuz. You know, Pump.FUN, like, I want to like it so bad. And they're in such a good spot. And then they're like, okay, how about we do Black Mirror bounties as our next launch? It's like, are you guys fucking insane? It's like they are trying so hard to not go up. How about we have $1 billion. We have this unkillable market. We have an airdrop. People are so desperate to support us. I have an idea. How about Black Mirror bounties? It's like, dude, are you guys fucking out of your mind? Where is the bounty page? Anyone have it? How do I find it? Here it is. Truth or dare for unlimited money. Get Ansem to burn his Ribbit tokens for $23,000. Bring a pump meme to life on Charms. There's really nothing. I don't see. They took it down. I don't see it. Find a local flock camera. There's nothing good. Go bald for $200. They should nuke this, dude. They should fully nuke this. They've paid out $900K. How? They should nuke this, bro. Are you a cash guy holder? No. They should really nuke this. They should nuke this, bro. Get rid of this shit. Take it down. Please take it down. What do we have? You know what's funny? Like today feels like such a slow markets day, even though there was so much panic. Like my Twitter timeline is dead. It feels like a slow market day. Well, this just slow drips to flat. Right now on DRAM, we're up 1%. Mags are about to go red. It feels like such a slow day today. Q's 0.4. Everything is like. Did we ever look at Memescope for 10 hours a day again? Should I just pull up Memescope right now? It's summer vacation. What? Should we just fucking like do a Memescope stream? I don't even like know how to use Memescope anymore, bro. I used to have like all these good filters and shit. I don't even know how to use it anymore. Dude, what if I did a trend stream with Cubsy? Would I like destroy our I'll tell you, you want to know a story? Would that like destroy my reputation? You want to know a story? I was trading. We have to practice for a little. I know. I don't even like know how to use me. I haven't traded. I'll be honest. The last time I logged on Memescope was like, we might have to practice. I haven't used Memescope since, I don't know, like December 2024, early 25. I was okay, so I enter Pump. And what day did Brian happen? What day did Brian happen? Since Libra. Nice one, dude. Nice. Way to fit that in there. Wasn't sure we're ever gonna get a fucking Libra comment in the chat today, but you found a way. Okay, what day was this? July 16th was what was July 16th? 4 days ago. Okay, so like Thursday. Okay, so it's Thursday, and I'm like, I bought Brian Coin. Bought it like 15 mil, sold at 15 mil. I bought Brian Coin, and I am on chain and I'm trading memes, and I buy Brian Coin, and I watched the rotation. Ironically, that was why you originally blocked me on X. Do I have you blocked right now? You're in here a lot. I would unblock you. Why did I block you? Like, what specifically? I would unblock you if I have you blocked. You're in here all the time. But I'm trading. Okay, so I'm trading Brian Coin, and I'm in the chats. Like, I'm on Telegram. I'm like ready to go, and I watch the Cash Cat to Brian Coin to index rotation happen in like 20 minutes. And I just sat here and was like, oh my God, I had no idea it was this bad. And I opened my Hyperliquid account and I'm staring at my pump position and I have my finger over the sell button and I am just like, dude, it's so bad. I did not know it was this bad. And then I woke up on Friday and was like, oh my God, why didn't I sell? It's so bad. And so I've kind of come to the conclusion that the only way for me to like long-term stay bullish on pump is if I don't look at pump coins ever. If I just completely don't look, because it's bad. It was bad what I saw. I'm just gonna be honest. It was bad. It was like really bad. It was really bad. The rotations, the thing about the rotations too is like, I think with this emergence of like central balance cross chain swap trading tools, they can happen like before you can think. You could stack Rabbit coin by like ETH mainnet instant. It's so fast that there's no friction on like bridging or selling or swap. There's zero friction, means you could just like 1 second hop on money can just like flood into the next thing. And it makes these rotations so violent, man. They're violent. They are so violent. No bridge makes a huge difference. I think it's like the core, I don't know if I would call it like the crux, but it's a core reason that these rotations are so fast. It does have an interesting implication for chains. Like, why do you need a new blockchain? Or why not launch a new blockchain? Like, I actually could go both ways. Why do you need a new chain? Or like, why not just launch the new chain? Because you can get integrated into all the cross swaps. It's interesting. What was the one? Let's look at Cash Cow one more time. Yeah, it doesn't look bad. Malcolm, you still hold this? Yeah, the only way to stay bullish is to not look at what's going on on chain. Need to launch a good chain with good tech and deep liquidity. Can I introduce you to Robinhood chain? Is that something I can introduce you to? Yeah, today's a really slow markets day. Nothing really happened today except for some red chop. Brian posts back on my feed. Yeah, boring day, dude. Fuck my life. Well, oh, got smoked. Yeah, we were just talking about this. Got smoked in this, by the way. Not a great sign for the rest of the 1 trillion IPOs coming down the pipe. Rest of the year, we'll be tracking away for signs of bottom to form, but in no rush to get back in this at the moment. There's no level at which I'm not really interested in buying SpaceX until like a lot higher. Until like a lot higher. So, my friends, I think that we are going to have, we're going to have, there may be some slow market days ahead of us, but there are some very impactful and important market days ahead of us. And I'm looking forward to being the most dialed as it relates to all of them. I think, look, the story by far is not super tradable, but Kimi K3 and the Dean Ball post and everything that's going on over there is going to have huge implications on just like, I don't know, the future of the world. I don't know, the fate of the universe. And we set the stage for it. I'm going to do my best to cover it very well over the coming weeks as there's developments. We have Tesla earnings, Google earnings, Philip Morris earnings, Intel earnings this week. Huge week for earnings. Is Jersey Mike's IPO a buy? We'll do a segment on it tomorrow. Huge week for earnings. And then we potentially have a turnaround on some of the crypto stuff. Potentially have a turnaround on the crypto stuff. Chat, when's the last time you ate at Jersey Mike's? Been a long time for me, I'm not going to lie. Never? Don't sleep. Jersey Mike's low-key gas. Don't sleep. It's always 30% off sale on my Uber Eats. I'm not going to lie. Uber Eats Jersey Mike's is crazy. Uber Eats sandwich is like a little bit nuts. Even though I'd be doing like sushi and shit. I'm like, that's fair. I do sushi and shit. I do sushi. The fuck do you do Uber Eats? I know. I live so close to good food too. They do have good sandwiches, but just like Uber Eats sandwiches, like a little bit suspect sometimes, you know. Is Potbelly public? Oh, the Tom Brady. Dude, I don't know why he's doing this, but Tom Brady, maybe the most decorated athlete of all time, is destroying his legacy for absolutely no reason. It's like, yeah, how about I become best friends with Logan Paul after winning 7 rings and being the most respected NFL player of all time? I'm gonna buddy with Logan Paul. I don't get it. I don't get it. It makes no sense. Like, what? Hard adjustment and the wife. I mean, I guess I get it, but everybody wants to be a streamer. Yeah, it's facts. Logan got crazy deal flow. I know, but he's Tom Brady, bro. Your name is Tom Brady. Who do you think got better deal flow? Tom Brady or Logan Paul? Who got better deal flow? Like, let's be so serious for a second. Your name is Tom Brady, bro. Logan, stop. Logan, friend of the stream, by the way. Logan's a friend of friends that are friend of the stream. Justin Bieber performance did suck. That was just such a bad game, bro. Bad for the sport. Joe Rogan took a DraftKings deal. Is that true? SBF owned Tom Brady. That's also true. Sometimes I'd be saying SPF like sunscreen. What does that stand for, SPF? Bitcoin, bro. DraftKings a sleeper. Wait, did he actually take a draft? That probably means DK is up. Amazon stock is a steal. What's good, Duffy? First chatter. I don't hate that shill to pop in here and get started. Chris Camillo mode. Insane first chat. I know. Amazon's a steal. Low cap gem. It's Amazon at 5 trill. Money printer's fucking on a run, man. Hello, I'm a lurker. I appreciate you being here, bro. When someone steals my tweet, I don't really care. Does that make me a cuck? What's good, Venture Coin is? Hey, I got the books, bro. I'm hype. Chat, I just ordered the full volume, like volume 1, full lineup of Calvin and Hobbes. What you don't know about Calvin and Hobbes? You'll hip to that or no? Is that in your range? Calvin and Hobbes rocks, bro. First edition, nah.
Yo, what's up? What's up?
Is that dope? Yeah, it's so sick. Calvin and Hobbes. Wait, author. Bill Watterson. How much did he make on these books? Dude, I thought I was about to say 5 to 10 and I was gonna pocket watch. Dude, that's in like $1990 too.
He said, I have a question.
Yeah,
Dude. POV, you have a good take, and Dave Port. Have you seen what he's doing, Malcolm? Yes or no? Yes or no? Have you seen what he's doing? Have you seen what he's doing? It seems like you have not. No, obviously it's fake, but like, it's just like aura loss, dude. Yeah, why is Cat there? He's spelled it CAT is nuts. Bro called him Big Purr. Also, there's one more thing we have to do. Yeah, that is brutal. Thank you. Thank you. New trailer just dropped. Bro called him Big Purr with a C. Avengers Doomsday. I've never seen an Avengers in my life. Let's watch it. He should be chilling south of Frank's. I agree. Thank you.
Something's coming.
AMC God Run. Best earnings in 106 fucking years. Yet here I am.
Something we may not be able to.
No, I've never seen.
Before this day is done, we shall be faced with an unthinkable decision.
They deadass just like copy paste the same formula with the same directors like once a year and make $1 billion. It's actually the greatest formula of all time.
I've fought with many warriors in my time. They were far stronger than all of us put together, and they died.
It's like Avengers has no moat, really, bro.
Died facing enemies and threats that scared me far less than this one. Everything that they sacrifice will be for nothing if we do not.
I mean, how long can we make $1 billion a year off of nostalgia? Can we watch Iron Man or something?
Stand together.
Like goofy
Put aside your petty squabbles. Presume nothing except this.
I've never seen Iron Man.
If you return,
This is so ass, dude. This is like torture.
He will return as brothers and sisters. But mark my words. We're going to need a miracle.
Hey, pal.
It's not possible.
I can't say that on stream. I can't say that on stream. Wait, I'm gonna type in the chat. Wait, I'm gonna say this. Pretend I said this. that Oh, that was so funny. Jesus. I'll fucking you don't even, you make me watch that, I don't even fucking know what I'll do if you make me watch that fucking movie, dude. I don't even fuck you. I'll fucking man. Bitcoin mode, Bitcoin mode, Bitcoin mode, Bitcoin mode, Bitcoin mode. I know three of the worst hours you've ever seen in your entire life to watch the same movie you've already seen 9 times every 3 years since you were a 5-year-old kid. Here's $1 billion. It's just like, bro, what? Here's $1 billion more. It's like basically the France and Argentina game. The France-Argentina game was basically Spain gets to kick a corner every 3 minutes until they make one and the game ends. That's the game. 100% possession. We're going to let you kick a corner every 3 minutes and then a free kick from 30 yards every 5th minute until you score, and then we just declare the game over. That was the Spain game I watched yesterday. It's just like insufferable. So Caleb, you watched 3 movies in your life? Is like, what? What was that? Just going to let that go? I will give you a take though. All right, I'll give you a take. My attention span's gotten so fried. It's gotten to the point where if I'm able to sit down and watch a movie without my phone, I consider it a dopamine detox. It used to be if you were watching a movie, it was like a crazy brain distraction. Now, if I can sit through a movie or even half a movie without a phone check, I feel like I have a dopamine reset. It's gotten bad, dude. It's really gotten bad. I almost crashed out yesterday because I was trying to listen to the new Steve Lacy album. I was trying to listen to the new Steve Lacy album, which has one of the best first songs ever. And I was connected to the speakers in the house, and I was so frustrated I couldn't scroll TikTok and listen at the same time. It was like so bad. Really, really, really frustrating. Really frustrating. I just see the clipping chat, by the way. New clip just came in. 24300. Threadguy explains how low the bar has become for his attention span. Quote, if I'm able to sit down and watch a movie without going on my phone, I consider it a dopamine detox. It's gotten bad, dude. End quote. Thanks, T-Nap. No, I do have 2 phones, but one of them really doesn't work. Operations dialed. Threadguy react. New clip 244. Threadguy reacts to Threadguy react. It's like, nah. No, I'm gonna rug. Okay, how about this? 2014 Airbus A320. Previously owned by Spirit. It seems like a decent deal. It's not bad at all. New stream prop. Is it? Can't. No way it works, right? It's in Atlanta, Georgia. Yeah, it's just like in his yard. This is the type of shit PUMP.FUN will like exactly. This is PUMP.FUN will buy this. Do nothing. Wait, should I tag CL for like motion? Like motion purposes? Wow. Look at that, man. We do need some new stuff in the stream room. How do I find like vintage, like cool stuff? Like, can I like what should I search in eBay chat? What's like a cool like? I got some weird recent searches though. Can I? How do I get a private browser open? The Scroll Basics and Z Twitter. I had a dream about him last night, thinking about like oh, I have something I wanted to do. I have something I wanted to do actually. I have something I wanted to do. I was thinking about this last night. I did this like really weird thing last night, by the way, Malcolm, where I was like, did you hear me? Okay, I'm gonna tell you a really weird. I'm gonna tell you like an uncomfortable story. I'm gonna pretend like we're just like solo. Oh, get the Supreme mic. Okay. So I'll tell you 2 stories. So I'm doing this thing now. First of all, I'll tell you like a sad. Okay, I'm gonna tell you 2 like really weird stories. Like we're just hanging out, Malcolm. So I'm doing this thing now. I'm doing this thing where I like don't tell my brain no anymore, right? I don't tell my brain no for like things that I feel like I should do. So we're like leaving this bar on Friday or whatever, and we walk out, and I'm like, damn, that girl's so cute. As we walk out, and my boy was like, dude, she was looking at you. Like, we're walking away, and he was like, dude, she was looking at you. Like, why didn't you say anything? And I'm like, oh, I don't know. Should I go back? And we're like walking. I'm like, should I go back? We walk like 3 blocks, and I'm like, fuck it, I'm going back. And so I walk back in the bar, and I'm like, hey guys, like, hey ladies. It's 2 friends. There's like the friend, like, and then like the duff, and I'm trying to like navigate both. So I like shake both hands, and I look at the one girl, and I'm like, you know, I'm like mad nervous. By the way, I'm hella nervous. I'm like, what are you guys doing? Da da da. I'm hella nervous. What are you guys doing? And she's like, oh, like da da da, like it's a girls' night or whatever. And my friend was like, dude, she's looking at you. Like, you gotta go back. She's looking at you. You gotta go back. And I'm like, all right, fuck it. I'm going back. So I go back. Hey ladies, da da da. What are you guys doing tonight? Whatever. And she's, no, I know, but I just, trust me, I don't usually walk back in. Like, there's no warm intro, whatever. And I ask her, da-da-da, then I'm like, oh, like, da-da-da, let me, whatever. We got some moves tonight, like, da-da-da, you should come with me, whatever. She looks me dead in the eyes. I was smoother than this, but whatever. She looks me dead in the eyes, and she goes, I'm married. And I was like, oh, man. All right, have a great night. And I walk out, and I'm just like, man, I tell my boys, I'm like, I don't really think she's married. And my boy's like, did you ask to see the ring? And I was like, what? And he's like, dude, you have to ask to see the ring. And I'm like, are you insane? How would I ask to see the ring in that spot? No absolute way. Okay, so also, so second thing that happened, Malcolm, last night is I was thinking of, okay, I'm gonna tell you how I got here. I was thinking about how my parents used to make me like read 50 pages of a book like once a week or whatever in the summer or whatever. And I was thinking about the Diary of a Wimpy Kid. And I was thinking about how, was it Greg has this like bit where he would bring a diamond tester in your pocket. It's hilarious. Where he would like throw a pillow on the floor of his room so he could remember what he was thinking about. Oh my God. Trump security agency. Oh boy. Oh man, that's a disaster. So he would like throw the pillow on the floor so he would wake up and remember what the pillow was about. And so then I started thinking to myself, like, what do I want to remember tomorrow? And I started thinking about like $1 billion PDFs, $1 billion PDFs, $1 billion PDFs. I want to think about $1 billion PDFs tomorrow. I want to scroll the site. And so I'm like, fuck, how am I going to remember it? Because I don't have a pillow to throw on the floor. And so I just start saying it in my head, $1 billion PDFs, $1 billion PDFs, $1 billion PDFs. And then I'm in my head and I'm like, you should scream it. Like, scream it really loud. It's like, bro, it's like midnight. It's like midnight, 12:30, whatever. And I'm like, my brain is just like, scream it, scream it. And I'm like, fuck, I don't want to scream it. I don't want to scream it. I'm like, my brain's like, scream it, scream it. And I start getting like mad, embarrassed. I'm like, I don't want to scream it. And so I try to just like close my eyes and like, I try to like just like close my eyes and like let it pass. And it's like, I'm like getting like hot flash and my body's like shaking. I'm like, scream it, scream it. So I'm like, $1 billion PDFs. It's like, that's not good enough. I'm like, and then I'm like, $1 billion PDFs. My brain's like, it's not good enough. You know, so finally I'm like, $1 billion PDFs. And my brain is like, and I'm like, okay, that's good. I can go back to bed. And I close my eyes for like 2 minutes. And my brain is like, that's not good enough. It's not good enough. Like, you know, that's not good enough. And I just like rip it last night at like 12:30. Rip it hella loud. Screamed it. I was like, oh my God. I felt like I had like it like came over I just like ripped it, dude. And so I woke up in the morning. First thing I think about, $1 billion fucking PDFs, man. Incredible. $1 billion PDFs. Thought about it first thing in the morning. It fucking worked. It's beautiful, man. Beautiful. Fucking worked. Anyways, sorry about that. I knew it was gonna get a little uncomfortable when we got to the $1 billion PDFs thing. I wanted to go through them, but we'll do them at a different time. We'll do them a different day. But I'm just sitting, PDFs. I'm just sitting here like. You also do vocal stims. Thank you. I'm like, if I scream it really loud, it's gonna be hella embarrassing because I know Malcolm is here and he might hear it, and then I'm gonna wake up and I'm 100% gonna think about it. So I'm live every morning at 8:30 a.m. EST. I'll see you tomorrow. Big week, big stream, big everything. On that note, I will catch you when I catch you. I'll see you when I see you. Have a great rest of your day. Love you, motherfuckers. Peace.